Dio Brando, strike me down with all of your hatred, and your journey towards the dark side will be complete. Dio Brando is the first major antagonist of the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure franchise. Born into poverty with a neglectful, drunken father, Dio grew up in the slums, surrounded by people who despised him. His resentment only deepened when he was adopted into the wealthy Joestar family, fueling his insatiable envy and ruthless ambition. He didn't just want to join their world. He wanted to own it, by any means necessary, including cold-blooded murder. Dio is the definition of an arrogant, cruel, and power-hungry megalomaniac who treats others as disposable tools in his quest for dominance. From the moment he steps into the Joestar household, he makes it his mission to ruin Jonathan Joestar's life. Let's take a quick look at his impressive list of first impressions. Tormented his new brother at every opportunity. Kicked his dog, Danny. Attempted to gouge Jonathan's eyes out. Spread rumors to turn Jonathan's friends against him. Forcefully stole the first kiss from Jonathan's love interest. Oh, and that dog he kicked? He also burned it alive. Charming, isn't he? Dio thrives on cruelty, taking sadistic pleasure in asserting dominance over his enemies and innocent bystanders alike. A prime example, he once turned a woman into a zombie, then stood back and gleefully watched as she ate her own child. Why? Because, to him, it was entertaining. Dio also seems to think real life operates under Grand Theft Auto rules. Case in point, he once casually ordered someone to plow through a sidewalk full of pedestrians. While he is largely devoid of genuine loyalty, he occasionally rewards his most devoted followers, though, of course, only when it serves his interests. His utter disregard for humanity and insatiable hunger for power define him. Dio eventually abandons his own humanity, transforming into a vampire and gaining a terrifying set of supernatural abilities. His powers include immense strength, agility, endurance, flexibility, and rapid regeneration. However, he does have one major weakness. Direct sunlight is fatal to him. His ultimate goal? World domination, ruling with absolute authority and eliminating anyone who dares oppose him. Dio's influence shapes most of the events in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, with many characters describing him as nothing short of evil incarnate. Some even believe that Dio wasn't made this way. He was born this way. By the way, only 5% of viewers manage to like the video and subscribe to the channel before time runs out. Comment "Done" if you made it in time. Darkseid. Darkseid stands as one of the greatest villains in the DC universe. A ruthless and power-hungry tyrant, he is a new god who reigns over the nightmarish world of Apocalypse and an untold number of conquered planets. His ultimate ambition is absolute control over all life through the anti-life equation, a force that strips free will and bends all beings to his command. Under his rule, his subjects are reduced to mere slaves, forced into brutal labor in the mines and executed without hesitation for even the slightest defiance. His own minions are no exception. Failure or questioning his authority often results in immediate and merciless punishment. Darkseid wields godlike strength, speed, near invulnerability, and true immortality. Combined with his brilliant tactical mind and mastery of warfare, he is nearly impossible to overcome. His cruelty and raw power make him such a terrifying force that even Batman and Superman recognize that the only true way to stop him may be to kill him. This Diabolical doesn't just aim to rule a world. At times, he sets his sights on the entire multiverse. Scarlet King. The Scarlet King is one of the most feared antagonists in the SCP Foundation series, widely regarded as the most dangerous entity in the entire canon. An ancient god embodying the primal and savage instincts of humanity, he stands in direct opposition to science and technological progress. His ultimate goal? To erase modern civilization and drag existence back to a brutal, archaic age. His devoted cult, the Children of the Scarlet King, worship him as an unstoppable, godlike ruler. Their mission is to summon him into our universe, allowing him to dismantle the current world order and restore the ancient feudal past. Described as a nightmarish, ever-shifting being with countless forms, the Scarlet King has declared war on all of creation. A war meant to last until the end of time itself. He has conquered multiple deities, including a goddess named Sana, whom he forcibly married, along with some even darker atrocities. Sana later gave birth to 7 daughters, each marked by the Scarlet King to carry a leviathan, creatures meant to aid him in his quest for supremacy. He stripped the children of Anat of their power, ensuring they had no means to resist his destruction. Portrayed as both merciless and strategically brilliant, the Scarlet King has even torn apart the fabric of reality itself, shattering the Tree of Knowledge. His power knows no limits. He distorts reality, annihilates entire worlds, and threatens the stability of the multiverse. He can breach other dimensions, manipulate memories, and feast on the suffering of others, growing stronger with each act of devastation. He is also linked to SCP-231, the 7 Brides, a disturbing legend where all but one of the brides have already given birth to terrifying anomalies. According to prophecy, the birth of the final child will signal the Scarlet King's arrival into our world. He is the embodiment of chaotic evil, devoid of mercy, reason, or even moments of pragmatism. The Scarlet King's reign is one of sheer cosmic terror, built not on emotion, but on an unshakable claim to divine power. Johann Liebert, a monster in human form, a devil without horns, a man who kills without ever lifting a weapon. Johann Liebert is the central antagonist of Monster, and unlike many other villains, he has no supernatural abilities, no godlike strength, and no armies at his command. What makes him terrifying isn't what he can do. It's what he can make others do. With nothing but words and a chillingly calm demeanor, Johann manipulates people into destroying themselves and those around them. He doesn't kill out of necessity, vengeance, or ambition. He does it simply because he can. He finds beauty in death, seeing life as nothing more than a fleeting, meaningless illusion. His victims don't always realize they are his pawns until it's too late. A conversation with him can turn a loving father into a murderer, a loyal friend into a traitor, or a stable mind into a broken husk. His intelligence is unmatched, his presence disarming, and his charm irresistible. He can seamlessly blend into any environment, taking on new identities and deceiving even the most cautious individuals. He doesn't need violence to spread chaos. He whispers the right words, and people willingly walk into their own doom. From childhood, Johann showed an unnatural detachment from humanity, a product of a horrifying experiment designed to create the perfect manipulator. He was molded into something beyond human, a void in the shape of a man. He commits massacres with no hesitation, yet leaves behind no evidence. He reduces powerful individuals to paranoid wrecks, watching as they unravel under the weight of their own choices. Unlike other villains who crave power or destruction, Johann seeks something far darker, absolute emptiness. He doesn't just want to kill, he wants to erase everything. His ultimate goal? To become the last living person in existence, standing alone at the end of all things. And the most terrifying part? He's so brilliant, so untouchable, that he just might succeed. The Joker Chaos Incarnate, a nightmare in a purple suit, a man without a plan, except for the destruction of everything sane. The Joker isn't just another criminal mastermind, he's something worse, something completely unpredictable. No ambition, no empire to build, no grand design beyond the sheer thrill of watching the world burn. To him, life is one big joke, and the punchline is always suffering. Unlike most villains who seek power or revenge, Joker doesn't want control. He wants mayhem. He thrives on anarchy, feeding off the fear, pain, and confusion of those around him. One day, he might rob a bank just to fund a citywide massacre. The next, he might kill hundreds just to make one person suffer. Or maybe he'll do nothing at all, letting the paranoia he's sown do the work for him. But what makes him truly terrifying isn't his violence. It's his mind. The Joker is a genius in the worst way possible, twisting logic and morality into grotesque shapes, manipulating people until they break. He doesn't just kill, he corrupts. He turns friends against each other, drives heroes into madness, and proves, time and time again, that all it takes is one bad day to bring out the monster in anyone. And then there's his obsession with Batman, his greatest rival, his favorite toy, and the one person he never wants to kill. Because without Batman, there's no game, no fun, no challenge. The Joker doesn't just see the Dark Knight as an enemy. He sees him as a kindred spirit, a reflection in the shattered mirror of his own madness. No past, no real name, no definitive origin. The Joker is a force of nature, chaos given form. He can't be reasoned with, he can't be stopped, and he definitely can't be understood. Because at the end of the day, the world is just one giant joke to him. And the scariest part? He's laughing, and you're not. Palpatine. Pitiful hope is extinguished. Shall I end your life? Palpatine, this ancient, wrinkled menace, is the ultimate antagonist of the Star Wars saga. A Sith Lord of immense power and unfathomable cunning, he meticulously orchestrated the Clone Wars, using chaos as a stepping stone to seize control and declare himself Emperor of the Galactic Empire. A Grand Master of deception, Palpatine masterfully concealed his insatiable thirst for power beneath a carefully crafted mask of wisdom and diplomacy. To the galaxy, he was a noble and compassionate leader, a guardian of peace. In reality, he was a merciless, manipulative, and treacherous Sith who sought total galactic domination. His ambition was boundless, his cruelty unmatched, making him the last person you'd ever want to be around. Loyalty? Meaningless. Not even his most devoted followers were exempt from his disregard. No matter how faithfully they served, their lives meant nothing to him. Starting to see a trend with these villains, Palpatine treated everyone as mere pawns in his grand game, discarding them the moment they became useless. His mastery of political manipulation and deception was so refined it would put even the most corrupt real-world leaders to shame. If he had a resume, orchestrating galactic-scale conflict for personal gain, and antagonizing the Jedi would be at the top of the list. To him, any action, no matter how vile, was justified if it served his goals. Lies, betrayal, genocide, oppression, everything was just a means to an end. Among the Sith, none were more powerful. He wielded Force lightning like a weapon of pure destruction, possessed the ability to foresee and alter fate, and could even drain the Force itself. His influence extended beyond death, allowing him to transfer his consciousness into clones, ensuring his rule could persist indefinitely. Empathy? Compassion? Those concepts were as alien to him as mercy. You could have been his closest friend since childhood, and if he saw you bleeding out on the street, he wouldn't just walk past you, he'd laugh in your face. Palpatine didn't merely crave control, he thrived on suffering, a walking embodiment of tyranny, megalomania, and pure, unfiltered malevolence. He treated entire wars like chess matches, found entertainment in orchestrating mass extinction, lost his along the way, and laughed through every second of it. The Flood, an unstoppable plague, a cosmic horror, the end of all sentient life. The Flood is one of the most terrifying threats in the Halo universe, a parasite capable of consuming entire civilizations and converting them into grotesque extensions of its hive mind. More than just an infection, it is a highly intelligent and adaptive force, spreading like wildfire and turning the dead into its puppets. This intergalactic nightmare operates with a singular goal: total assimilation. It doesn't discriminate. It devours everything, from primitive species to advanced interstellar empires. The Flood consumes, corrupts, and repurposes all biological matter, integrating its victims into a nightmarish, ever-expanding collective consciousness. At first, it may seem like a mindless disease, but that's just an illusion. The Flood is guided by something far worse: the Grave Mind, an ancient and hyper-intelligent entity, formed from the amassed knowledge and memories of every organism the parasite has ever absorbed. Cunning and manipulative, the Gravemind speaks in riddles, preying on weaknesses, breaking even the strongest minds, and turning former enemies against one another. The Flood is patient. It waits, biding its time until conditions are right. Once it emerges, it spreads with terrifying speed, infecting entire planets in days and overwhelming entire galaxies if left unchecked. Even the Forerunners, a godlike race of hyper-advanced beings, failed to contain it, forced to activate the Halo Array, a galaxy-wide genocide event just to stop its advance. Unlike other villains who seek power, destruction, or control, the Flood has no emotion, no morality, no desire beyond its insatiable hunger. It is not a being, it is an inevitability. The only real question is not if it will return, but when. Bill Cipher. Bill Cipher serves as the main antagonist of Disney's Gravity Falls. A chaotic and malevolent nightmare demon, he hails directly from the nightmare realm. His form is that of a floating yellow triangle, reminiscent of the Eye of Providence. Originally from the second dimension, he became disillusioned with his existence there, and wiped out his entire home world just to escape into ours. A cunning manipulator, Bill is ruthless and thrives on spreading chaos. When he breaks free from the nightmare realm, he gains nearly limitless, godlike power in the real world. However, while trapped in his original realm, he can only observe reality, unable to physically interfere. Instead, he manipulates people by making deals and can possess a host through a pact, though his abilities are restricted by the limitations of the vessel. Bill's ultimate goal is to merge the nightmare realm with the real world, creating an eternal, lawless carnival of madness under his reign. No rules, no limits, just him and his band of lunatics wreaking havoc across the universe. One of the many signs of his insanity is how he once forced two planets to collide just to make them kiss, or how he orchestrated a massive nightmare realm prom. Though he carries a darkly cynical sense of humor, it only reinforces how unpredictable and dangerous he truly is. To him, everything in existence is nothing more than a plaything, and he's the sole child enjoying the game. And if things don't go his way, he throws a tantrum, but at least he has some evil standards, unlike certain others.